Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1992's Sidekicks, or as its lesser known name, The Karate Kid 3.5.
Yeah, I think 3.5 is a generous. That's the only 3.5 this movie has ever been given in the history of star ratings or whatever.
Yes, this
It's so bad.
no, this movie was frustrating on so many levels. And before we get into it, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Idle Poncho. And let's get into the cast of Sidekicks, 1992. This film stars Chuck Norris as Chuck Norris, Jonathan Brandis as Barry Gabrewski, or Dollar Store Daniel LaRusso, Beau Bridges as Jerry Gabrewski, or Dollar Store Mrs. LaRusso, Mako as Mr. Lee, or Dollar Store Mr. Miyagi, Joe Piscopo as Kelly Stone, or Coked Out John Kreese, Danica McKeller as Lauren, or dark-haired Allie Winnie Cooper, John Buchanan as Randy Cellini, or Johnny Lawrence, I guess, with a worse haircut, and Julia Nickson as Noreen Chan. She's like, I'm a history teacher, but I'm also going to play psychologist in this whole movie.
Yeah, she got way too involved in the lives of her student and widower father.
Yes.
This was way too involved. Like, you are showing up uninvited everywhere that these people are and just inserting yourself in their life. Like, a child needs a mother.
Say hi to your dad for me.
The worst thing I see that is happening that's not caused by you daydreaming, Barry Wary, is the nickname Barry Wary. Other than that, you're just a weird kid that daydreams out loud.
Hey, it's Barry Wary.
Barry suffers, they call it daydreaming throughout the movie. Barry suffers from psychosis. Like,
yeah.
He's got a very serious mental disorder that nobody wants to focus on. They want to focus on his asthma, that he uses an inhaler that looks like a giant PVC pipe. I don't think inhalers looked like that in 92. I think they had advanced further than that. The movie opens with a daydream sequence that Barry's having to save his history teacher, Miss Chan, from apparently Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. And he and Chuck Norris, dressed as Storm Shadow and Storm Shadow 2.0, come to save the day and kick ass and take names. And he wakes up in history class yelling Chuck Norris's name as all the kids make fun of him.
He's not yelling Chuck Norris's name. He's saying, because that would be like, Chuck.
Yeah.
He's like going, no problem, Chuck. I'm always here to help you. You're running full lines of dialogue for your daydream.
Yes.
That shit is cuckoo.
And the rest of his class here makes fun of him, and he then has an asthma attack because that's a storyline for about 10 seconds of this movie.
Hi, anti-vaxxers. Uncle Corey here. Don't rub Tiger Balm on your chest thinking it's going to cure your asthma. It won't. It won't.
No. I was going to preface this whole movie before we got into it with, hey, if you have somebody in your family that's an anti-vaxxer, don't show them this movie because they'll be like, see? Science. But his history teacher then calls Barry's dad into school to play psychologist and try to get to the root of Barry's daydream problems and fantasies about Chuck Norris. And apparently she deduces, from her years of experience as a history teacher, that Barry's father working a lot is why Barry has these psychotic episodes in the middle of class.
And it turns out she's right, because Beau Bridges only gives a shit about his son about as far as when somebody goes, hey man, you should care more about your son. He's like, I care deeply about my son. And then he goes home and his son's trying to talk to him about some clearly deep shit, and he's like, "Meh, what? Doing my crossword puzzle, dickhead."
They never show him actually working. They show him writing things down in a notebook or possibly a crossword puzzle. Not really. He might be playing Sudoku. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's packing his briefcase at one point, like going to, but like they never show him actually doing said work.
Yeah, he's allegedly a computer programmer, but the only thing I see him doing is ignoring his son and acting kind of like a bitch most of this movie.
Yes, exactly. Barry's dad, tries to be a part of his son's life and takes him to sign him up for karate lessons. And they go to Joe Piscopo's dojo, where we meet this ridiculous John Kreese ripoff. He's like a crazier, coked out John Reese. Or John Kreese.
Coked out is 100% the only way to describe him.
Well, I don't like to brag or anything.
This is kind of where we start having the major problems, in my estimation, with the movie. Because it's fun. Look, everybody's ripping off everybody. Transformers, GoBots, whatever. Doesn't matter. You just got to be more interesting than your predecessor.
Yes.
Right? So, I like the fact that they're taking this broken kid and diving a little bit into his psyche and the daydreams with Chuck Norris, and that's cool. That's fine. You have the potential to set yourself apart from the Karate Kid by actually bringing in somebody that's legit karate badass in Chuck Norris, who was actually like won tournaments and shit back in the day. So cool. However, the introduction of Joe Piscopo's character turns this into like a slapsticky, vaudevillian, like slip on the banana peel kind of thing. And it just pick a fucking lane, bro. Yeah. Are you marketing for 8-year-olds or are you marketing to 14-year-olds? Because that's two very different audiences. And it starts off you're marketing for 14-year-olds, which I'm on board for because that's where I stopped maturing.
Yeah.
But when you slip back into that like little brother, like, whoa, I'm Joe Piscopo. Look how big my eyes are now. Whoa, and I make karate sound. Fuck off. That's just, it's not funny at all.
No, but you making totally fun of it is absolutely funny. Barry and his dad decide not to sign up at Crazy Karate. And Barry has more daydreams about Chuck Norris after this. And then Barry and his dad meet Miss Chan and Mr. Lee, Miss Chan's uncle, for dinner because Mr. Lee is going to be Barry's sensei now. And he's, dollar store Miyagi. While they're at said dinner, apparently drunk racist bikers randomly show up at this restaurant and start fucking with Barry's dad, who literally does nothing outside of hide under the table. And they're causing some trouble. So Mr. Lee goes into action by coming out of the kitchen and doing a slapstick comedy routine whilst kicking everyone's ass. This is where it was like, okay, Karate Kid, blah, blah, blah. Karate Kid weaved some subtle comedy. Like Mr. Miyagi was the comic relief, basically, in that, where he had his little sayings and, it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But they turned Mr. Lee into this weird, like, Asian caricature kind of, I'm going to do slapsticky things and play like the dumb Asian pretend guy. Like, it was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Like, look, there's clearly something wrong with you as a writer if your idea of comedy or comic relief in movies like this is to bring in racist characters and have them get beat by actually being more racist. Because that's what won at the end of the day, was him being like, I'll be a character of this fucking Charlie Chan fucking dude. And here we go, like throwing alcohol. And get the fuck out of here, man. Like, that's just...
It was just ridiculous.
Like, why did you have to disarm them that way? You know what I mean? Like, they're already drunk bikers.
Yeah.
You're already this karate master. why did, like, they weren't going to be on their toes, like, as soon as you stepped out. They weren't like, oh, shit, here comes a real guy. We got to be on our toes now. No, they would have never been that. They would have made fun of you for being an old little Asian dude like they did. They just added some pot shots about you being drunk.
Yeah, exactly. After this, we get more daydreaming from Barry in gym class about Chuck Norris, and Bull from Night Court, who's Barry's gym teacher, makes Barry climb the rope as Randy makes fun of him. And Barry has another psychotic episode here where Chuck Norris shows up and helps him climb the rope, and then everybody cheers.
This is where I have a massive problem. Barry cannot function outside of the dream world as anything but Barry Wary, right? The asthmatic Barry Wary struggling to make it through the day. But in this scene, Chuck, his imaginary friend being Chuck Norris, teaches him how to climb a rope, which means he knew that. Why was it a struggle to begin with? You know what I mean? Like, if you know this is how to do it, then just fucking do it.
This also it strays from the original, which is Barry's daydreaming about, he's in different situations, and mostly he's in Missing in Action in that movie with Chuck Norris. But now his psychosis has turned from a daydream to Chuck Norris is next to him on the rope, encouraging him and giving him advice to get to the top of the rope. It's now entered a different realm.
Yeah, we call that hallucination. Like, you're on fucking Joe Rogan gave you some DMT and horse glue, and you are just riding the wave.
This is the story of DMT, or dimethyltryptamine.
He gets to the top of the rope, and then he's like, yeah, I did it. That was the worst part of rope climbing for me, was reaching the top. Because now it's like, oh, fuck, I got to get down.
Yes.
Let me see that part of him achieving the goal. Because climbing up a rope is not that hard. Easing yourself back down a rope is a motherfucker.
I want to see him with the rope burns on his hands because he let go a little too much and he just went boom down.
Yeah.
After this, Barry is definitely feeling himself because, he gets to the top of the rope and all. And he asks Winnie Cooper out on a date. She says, yeah, no. And reveals that she likes him but doesn't like him. She wants to be friends because she feels sorry for him. To which,
hi, ladies, Uncle Corey here. Take your charity friendship and shove it right up your fucking asses. Nobody wants it. Yes. Nobody wants to be your charity case. Don't do that shit. I would much rather you ignore us nerds. I'm speaking for all of us now. All the outcasts in the world, I am your president. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
To the Winnie Coopers of the world, fuck your charity. We don't need it. We don't want it. You're leading us on and giving us hope because you like to have a fucking play toy.
He gets sad here and runs home. He smashes his inhaler and vows to beat his asthma. And then we get more psychosis where there's Nazis trying to take his breath. No, you just had an asthma attack and now you're getting taken to the hospital.
I was going to say, spoiler alert, he doesn't beat it. And I hope his computer programming daddy remembered he had to renew that insurance. Because 1990s healthcare bills were a motherfucker, cousin.
Just to let you know, in this movie, the Nazis win. Good message. So let's...
Well, just look at the writing and how they're geared towards Asian culture. And all the abundance of black people in the movie.
But Mr. Lee shows up and rubs some shit on his chest to help him with his breathing. And after he gets out of the hospital, we get our first of many training montages throughout this film. Cut to him then starting to participate in gym class, and this is where we get Bull from Night Court. You're gonna sue us and you're gonna die, and if you die, I'm gonna kill myself so then I can come back and kill you, or whatever the hell. This made no sense.
What I liked about this part was one thing. This was my favorite. I literally laughed out loud at this part. Richard Mole says to Jonathan Brandis, "You're not doing this. If you go to the hospital again, I'm fucked." Which is true. He doesn't care about you. He cares about himself. Fair.
Yes.
And he's staying in character. And then he goes, dude, I'll sign a waiver. I don't even care. And then Richard Ball goes, oh, that's exactly what you'll do. And then lets him continue in gym class.
Yes.
You deserve to be fired because you are the worst gym teacher ever.
But then after this, we get another training montage. And then Barry gets picked on again here by Randy. And this time he fights back because karate and things. And I know stuff. And they get into a full-on karate fight in the gym, which gets broken up by Bull.
Barry Wary can take some fucking kicks and punches to the face.
Like a motherfucker.
These two guys jack each other in the face so hard. And nothing happens to their faces.
No.
They still look as beautiful and lovely as they were when they started the movie.
Yeah, no, the hits that they take in this movie are as ridiculous as the movie itself. And I get it.
Yeah.
Action movies, which I don't consider this, but action movies, you get these fight scenes where people, grown men getting the snot kicked out of them. They get kicked and punched and stabbed in the face, and nobody feels it until like after the fight because adrenaline and men. Yeah. But in this, it's you get the initial like and then a second later it's like, okay, we're back to fighting again, and everybody's cool. There's no concussions. There's no.
This was the most formulaic fight ever. It was get hit, go turn around, drop your one-liner. Then you hit back. And that guy goes, and then he drops a one-liner, and then he kicks you. Then you go, and then you drop a one-liner, and then you kick him.
And then Bull comes in, breaks up the fight, and goes, hey, good job there, kiddo. Way to stick up for yourself. I'm on your side. And then...
Should somebody be suspended at this point?
Somebody should be suspended at this point. I know
when I got hit in the face a lot, I got suspended, and I didn't throw any punches. So
he just says, hit the showers, guys. That'll cool you off.
It's really weird. Like, you guys just had a fight. Now go strip down. Go strip down and hit some hot water so I can watch this Roman Greco wrestling fight.
And the most infuriating part of this whole scene is the ending, where Winnie Cooper then comes around and asks Barry out because she's a trash human. And this is where I put in my, don't do that, folks. Hi, everybody. If someone asks you out and they say, or if you ask somebody out and they say no, right? They just want to be friends because they feel sorry for you and you're basically their charity case. And then when you become successful later in life, or you do some cool shit like fight a guy in gym class and they're like, hey, this guy's cool. And they come and ask you out. Tell them to go kick rocks because they are a trash human being. And for all you trashy Winnie Coopers out there, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, have fun being pregnant working at Hooters, you fucking asshole.
Oh, so this is something you learned at Hooters.
This is the one thing I'll say, and I didn't jump on it earlier when Jonathan Brandis originally asked her out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to... I don't stake a claim to the don't do that, but I have a 3-part don't do that for Jonathan Brandis's of the world.
You are welcome to it.
Thank you very much. Listen, fellas, when you ask out a lady and she says no and rejects you, one, we've all been there. Even somebody has turned down George Clooney and Brad Pitt in their life before, I promise you. Yep. We've all been there. One, don't let it cause an asthma attack, because that's just insane and not worth the trouble. Two, don't start crying and go, I get it, okay, I get it. That's super fucking embarrassing and not going to be more attractive. And then 3, don't run away like somebody stole your grandma's chain.
Man, my grandmama gave me that chain.
In no way, shape, or form, when a male human being behaves in that manner, does the woman he is interested view him as a sexual being ever again.
No.
Ever again. 20 years later, when you both show up at the high school reunion, she's going to be like, damn, he looks good. Who is that? Oh, that's Barry. Oh, That motherfucker that had the asthma attack cried and then ran away like a bitch when I turned him down. Cool.
The next scene, Randy then challenges Barry to a quote-unquote fair fight at the All Valley Karate Tournament. I mean, the Texas Open Karate Tournament.
By the way, spoiler alert, they don't fucking fight.
No, I will get to this as well.
I couldn't take it anymore, dude. I was a volcano ready to explode with this. What the fuck is the point of making a karate movie if your fucking protagonist and your antagonist are not fucking karate fighting at the end?
No, they're going to break bricks. Cool. I'd rather see them break bread. Get the fuck out of here with your goddamn plot.
I'd rather see him hit the showers.
We then get another karate montage, a training montage, and then cut to said karate tournament. And by the way
please.
Oh, I was going to say, and by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but the goddamn logo on the mat is the All Valley logo. Just round, the fist is a little bit more rounded off and not so square and blocky. Like, listen, if you're going to completely rip off another movie, just at least be subtle about it. You know what I mean?
Don't borrow their set pieces, for Christ's sakes.
I mean, seriously. Get the fuck out of here with this. You know, we talk about lazy writing a lot. Yeah. This is lazy writing. They just took, here's a situation. They basically took the Karate Kid, put some psychosis and some daydreaming into it. And they were like, here, with new characters that you don't like.
Yeah, well, no, what's funny is they actually had the budget. I read this on Prime when I was watching the movie. They had the budget to like go bigger, but it was all blown on Joe Piscopo's cocaine writer.
Yeah,
by the way, was this motherfucker teach himself how to use nunchucks? He starts off with the ball clapping thing, and by the end of this, dude, he has 2 sets of nunchucks hidden inside of one, and then breaks him out in the tournament to flip him into 2. Look, I support the whole weapons demonstration portion because that was very real. Like, yes. I remember that shit very clearly. Like, you got to use weapons for some reason as a child in karate class. Which, whatever. However, nobody turned into Jet fucking Lee after like 3 weeks of buildup into the karate tournament.
He was doing shit that like a karate expert would take years of practice to pull off the bullshit that he pulled off. But apparently we're supposed to believe that because in his daydream he turns into Storm Shadow and now all of a sudden he knows nunchuck things. Like, stop it. When they get to the tournament, and again, complete ripoff from Karate Kid, they get to the sign-up table and they have 3 people. They say, here's our paperwork. We have 3 people that want to sign up on our team. And in my head, I'm like, who are the fucking 3 people? Because I think it's just Barry who's fighting in this goddamn thing. Nope. They need a 4th person now that they don't have. And
which they knew they needed.
Yes.
You read the rules that said you need 4 people, and you just went, fuck it, we're going to have 3.
Yep.
That's not how life works, kids.
And not only that, but like, again, if this is in the similarity with Karate Kid, because they needed what belt is he? And Miyagi's got to steal the belt and yada. So there's like an issue at the sign-up table. Well, there's an issue here because you need a 4th person.
And this guy's a dick.
Yeah, this guy's a total douchebag.
Hi, kids. Uncle Corey here. If your job in any way is customer service, it is not a time for you to audition your 5-minute stand-up routine.
No. It's a team competition, and you have to have a complete team, which is 4 people.
Nobody gives a fuck how funny you are. Service the customer and move the fuck along.
Apparently here, Miss Chan and Mr. Lee are competing for some reason in this goddamn tournament, but whatever. Mr. Lee and Miss Chan get Chuck Norris because he's at this tournament for some reason, and they get him to compete on their team so he can fight Dollar Store John Kreese.
Which is hilarious because we don't need, like, first off, when you see a group of human beings in a circle and having a conversation, because this happens multiple times in this movie.
Yes.
Don't just walk up and interrupt them. Whatever you are hoping to gain, chances are you're not going to get it when you interrupt people talking already. That was astounding to me.
Yeah.
Like, hi. That's not how grown-ups behave. You're a fucking teacher, and now all of a sudden, a fucking professor of psychology, child psychology. I'm pretty sure you know better than to walk up to a grown-ass group of men and be like, hi. That's not how you get somebody's attention.
And FYI, when Chuck Norris goes to one of these karate tournaments, he will have a lot of people asking for his autograph and yada yada, and they will be interrupting his little private conversations he's having. And Chuck Norris, I don't know him, but seems like a decent enough guy where you go, cool, here's your autograph, young lad. Now run off and have a good karate. But he's not stopping in the middle of a conversation with 5 other dudes that he's having and talking to an adult that's going, hey, can I talk to you for a second? No, you certainly cannot. Because you could be crazy. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and continue my conversation. Security, can you please escort this lady away?
Yeah, women like her right now are the reason Keanu Reeves doesn't ever touch any of the people in his pictures. And he just has his arms like straight out.
It takes them all of 4 seconds to convince Chuck Norris to be on their karate team so that they can enter this damn tournament. And
yeah, what do you think Chuck got promised?
They enter the tournament. Miss Chan competes in the women's kata portion. Mr. Lee competes in the brick breaking event. And then Barry does the weapons demonstration. And again, no fighting yet. The only fight and the only person who fights here is Chuck Norris, who then kicks the shit out of Joe Piscopo, which I don't want to say this fight is good because it is not. But at the beginning, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I know this is like slapsticky comedy, but like Chuck Norris isn't slapsticky. I'm like, okay, This is going to be like at least a decent enough fight where you watch and go, okay, cool. And it starts off that way. And then it ends with Joe Piscopo getting kicked by Chuck Norris and flipping over 47 times with the close-up on his face as he's talking and making face noises. Like, and that's the fight. That's it's not even the crescendo, but apparently it should have been.
We can't even climax with Chuck Norris. We got to fucking wait till Jonathan Brandis gloriously breaks bricks that we just decide to set on fire, by the way, because that's in the rules.
Exactly. So, because after Chuck Norris wins, there's a tiebreaker to end the film. Cool. A tiebreaker that should have been these 2 bitches fighting. But they get to choose on a coin flip what they compete in. And the guy who wants to kick Barry's ass, they decide to do a brick breaking competition.
Breaking. We choose breaking.
This is where you draw the fucking line. You have copied an entire movie.
But they had to make the ending different.
To draw the line at the fucking climax fight scene?
Why don't you just quit now and avoid the embarrassment?
I don't think I've ever claimed to be a great writer in my life. But for the love of fucking Christ, I beg of you, have a basic fucking idea of where you're going and don't change whatever, like, don't be like, I know what we're going to do. Twist ending. Breaking.
Breaking. We choose breaking.
This ending would have been better if they had a rap battle at the end. At a karate tournament.
Done breakdancing. It could have been Electric Boogaloo 3.
So Randy breaks some bricks and then calls Barry a puke face for no reason.
Beat that, puke face!
Pump your brakes, and you broke bricks. You're not trying to fight me. It was your choice to fight me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And your punk ass chose bricks.
Yeah, you chose bricks like a fucking puss.
Then Randy, who wants to end this now, tries to break 9 bricks, but only breaks 8. And Barry then comes up to break 9 bricks, gets some last-minute advice from Mr. Lee, who then sets the bricks on fire because it looks cool as fuck, so why not? And Barry breaks all 9 bricks, and everyone celebrates. Yay. This is your climax to the movie.
And technically, Barry cheated to win. Because the fire thing, I don't know if you understand how fire works.
I thought that too.
That kind of breaks down the chemical compounds that make everything in concrete tough.
I was thinking that too. I was
You're
like,
weakening the bricks.
Did he light it on fire so he would easily break the 9 bricks?
Yep, sure did.
But yeah, whatever. The movie ends as Barry and Chuck Norris have a heart-to-heart, or did they? Is it his psychosis? Because as Barry walks away, Chuck Norris disappears like a fart in the wind, and his dad and Miss Chan, who I guess now is his stepmom, walk away and celebrate the victory.
Miss Chan is not his stepmom because she's going to last about 5 minutes with Beau Bridges in like a permanent relationship and be like, yo, fuck you, simp. I'm out. Like, dude, you wouldn't even try to kata.
No,
I
Beau
begged
Bridges
you to do a kata. And you're like, oh, okay. Fool. I'm going to be slightly racist towards your culture, too.
She's going to move in, and on the first night, he's going to be like, let's eat some Chex Mix and have a bonfire in the back. And she's going to be like, fuck you, white people, I'm out.
Yeah, it's going to take her 2 episodes of Murder, She Wrote to be like, deuces.
Oh, my God. This movie...
Look, I know that Jonathan Brandis was everywhere.
Yes, he was. At
this time, and rightfully so. He's not River Phoenix, but he's not Gary Coleman either. Like,
yeah,
he's good. He's a good actor.
No, he was a solid actor.
Yeah, and his comedic timing. The jokes never landed, but his comedic timing was fine. It wasn't the timing that was the problem here.
No.
And like, again, I know he was everywhere. Like, Ladybugs, this fucking that Seagate SVU Special Victims Unit or whatever shit he was on.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like all of that, great, grand. He's big. Got kids in the seats. Beau Bridges was an attractive name. Joe Piscopo was a comedy name, and obviously Chuck Norris was a name at this time too. So you had all of the potential there to make a decent comedy loosely based on the Karate Kid. And you epically failed.
Yeah.
In the production, in the set design, in costume, in script. Everything here was a fucking mess, except for most of the acting. And that's because most of the actors are fairly legit. I mean, Chuck Norris can't act his worth a damn. But he's a fucking huge blockbuster star, so whatever.
But Chuck Norris can very easily play himself. Like,
well, yeah. Well, that even seemed to be a bit of a struggle with some of the lines. But I mean, yeah. Basically, you get the point.
You're not asking him like, "Hey, Chuck, you're a POW in Vietnam,
right?"
Chuck, just what do you wear on a daily basis? Jeans and a t-shirt? Cool. Put on jeans and a t-shirt. You're playing yourself. All the other actors did a fine job. Nothing was horrible. You can give the best actors, and we've done movies like this. We've actually done movies pretty recently like this, where you can get a star-studded cast of actors and give them each one turd to hold, and they can't make that turd pretty and not stink. a turd is a turd is a turd. And when your writers write this, it's hard to polish that turd. You can't. You just can't. And
nobody in this movie was on the same page.
No. It was the actors did the best they could with what they had to work with, which wasn't a lot. And
this was one of those, let's just cash our checks and go home.
Yeah, that's literally all this was. This obviously this doesn't stand the test of time. I don't think it stood the test of time from the time you started watching it in the theater to the time you left. So
100%. Real fast, if you want to watch a good Chuck Norris movie, go watch Firewalker. Jonathan Brandis's probably best known movies, Ladybugs, which I thought was pretty funny, actually. Yeah. We'll see what I think about it now, because my guess it's probably pretty pedophile and rapey.
Yeah.
Beau Bridges, Fabulous Baker Boys.
Yeah.
Those are the movies you should be watching instead of wasting your time trying to get them all in one shot.
Exactly. But that's all I got for this. Do you got anything else?
No, let's get the fuck out of here, please.
All right. Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1992's Sidekicks.